Today we are doing something a little bit different, slightly different than usual. We're going to go outside in front of the cherry blossom trees, the sakura trees, and we're going to do some Q&A. So yeah, let's go head outside and I'll see you guys there in just a moment. This right here is one of our favorite sakura trees in the neighborhood. It's right at the very edge of the path where the whole line of sakura trees go, but this one is just really beautiful. It's one of the biggest ones and it looks amazing. It's got a nice shape to it. The flowers are beautiful, and yeah, let's take a close-up of the flowers here. Alright, so I think this is a pretty good spot. About a week ago, I asked you guys on Instagram and in the YouTube community section to ask me some questions that you guys wanted to get answered. So let's do this quick rapid fire style. I think that's what it's called. So let's get started and answer some of your questions. So let's go. So starting up, what is your favorite fish to keep and why? My favorite fish, angelfish and rainbow fish, because they're colorful. There's so many different types and they're just amazing to look at. I love those two. What is the ideal size of tank for the starter? I say I really like the 60 centimeter to 2 foot tank. That's a great size to start off with, and that's the size I started off with too. So yeah, next up, would you get any turtles? Yeah, I would. I would get painted turtles, but not right now. Maybe in the future if I have more time, more space for them, I'd get some painted turtles, painted terrapins. Why does out of a sudden my stem plants melt? Already submerged plants? It could be many reasons. Maybe the balance of your tank, the lights, the substrate. You just gotta play around, see what works, and it's just a testing game. There's many reasons why stem plants could melt. Also could be the temperature of your water. What's the difference between terrarium, paludarium, and vivarium? Well, I'm not too sure entirely. I know terrarium consists of only like immersed plants, no water involved. A paludarium has both water and like an immersed land area. Vivarium, I'm not too sure. You can go search that up on the internet, or maybe someone can help you in the comments down below. But yeah, have you ever considered trying the 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗀𝘀 method on a tank? Not yet, but we definitely will someday. How do I get rid of or minimize water stains on glass? Well, first of all, having hard water definitely gets you all those stains. I don't have a problem with those white water stains that you get on tanks. But if you do, you can get this type of sponge, like a diamond sponge or something, and scrape it off. And yeah, I think that works. Or just use a razor blade and scrape it off. Why do you love plant aquariums so much, or aquascapes? Because they're beautiful. You just relax and they're so nice to look at. What are your future plans for your YouTube channel? Well, just keep doing what I'm doing right now. I do want to improve the fish room and do more videos on the fish room, and I also want to do more fish store tours in the future. I have an adjustable light. How should I define the optimal light level? Just play around, see what works, see what the plant's like, and not everything is going to go right from the very beginning. So just be patient, play around, see what works, and you'll find the perfect levels. For me, with my lights, 𝗲𝘾𝘾𝘀𝘀, I'm always playing with the lighting intensity, and yeah, it's just playing around and just have fun. What is your dream? I'm not sure. I don't know, but I really want to keep doing YouTube and maybe one day start a fish store. I'm not sure. Aquascaping store? I don't know. Or maybe be an aquascaper. I would like to be an aquascaper and scape tanks for people. How did you start the fish hobby? It was mostly thanks to my mom. My mom got me into this hobby and we kept fish for a few years. But after a couple years we stopped keeping fish, and then my school teacher got me back into the fish hobby. My science teacher, he had African cichlids and it was like one of the most beautiful things I saw, so that got me back in. Are you coming to India anytime? Not that I know of, but India's a really nice place. I've been there before. Favorite footwear when working with fish in pond? Well, I haven't worked with fish inside a pond before, but my favorite footwear, Crocs. White Crocs. I like white ones. Start doing more aquascapes like MD fish tanks? I'll try my best. I have no aqua soil or any substrate in my fish tank. Any substitute for that? You can try gravel, sand works too. How to create depth. So for me, to create depth in a tank, you start with a thin layer of substrate in the front, and as you move to the back of the tank, you slope it up. So more substrate in the back and less substrate in the front, and that will create more perspective. Like it makes sense of depth. So it just works like that. Best way to grow moss. Just have a healthy tank, CO2, fertilizers, I'm not sure, just balance. Balance is like my answer to healthy planted tanks. Why do you put the heater horizontally? Well, my reason is because heaters, if you put them up, most heaters have the sensors at the top of the heater. So if you put it vertically, the heat rises from the bottom and it goes up. So it'll make the sensors feel warm instantly, and you want it sideways because the heat rises and can have a chance to disperse around the tank. So that's kind of my reasoning. You don't want the heat to automatically like rise up and hit the sensor. So yeah, just kind of my reasoning why I put heaters sideways and not vertically. What do you do besides aquascaping and YouTube? I do coach tennis part-time. I am a part-time tennis coach. I used to do it more back when I was in Singapore. What are the cameras you use when doing fish store tours? The one I'm using right now, Canon M50, and I'm hoping to change it soon. I've been using it for a while, I've dropped it a few times, and it is kind of broken, so yeah, I do want to get a new camera. What is your favorite type of canister filter for a planted aquarium? My favorite type is definitely the 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝘀𝗀𝘀 Classic series. Those are the best filters, and if you want to go a bit high-end, if you have some money to spend, then go for the ADA Superjet series. But the 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝗀𝗀 ones, they're probably the best. Are you still in school, and how did you become good at speaking English? So I am not in school anymore. I finished high school a few years ago, and yeah, I didn't go to college, but I became good at speaking English by going to an American school. My parents wanted me to learn English, so they put me in an American school, and I'm really thankful for that. How much is your monthly cost? Thanks in advance. My monthly cost? I'm not sure. I don't really calculate my monthly cost, which I probably should, but yeah, I haven't. Hey man, love your tanks. What is the best cheap and easy to use option for a CO2 kit? Well, there is really no hard CO2 kit. It's CO2 is not hard to play with at all. If you get started, it's really easy to learn, and you won't go back. How much does YouTube really pay, and how reliable is vlogging for a living? Well, I can't tell you for sure because it's different for everyone. It's different for every channel. For my channel, I wish I'd be getting paid more, but I'm not, and that's kind of my fault. I should upload better videos, more videos. So yeah, but for me, I'm like barely making the cut. I'm not making that much money, but I'm making enough to kind of support the hobby, and plus a little bit more. Still not enough to get my favorite Mercedes-Benz. What's your favorite fish at the moment? My favorite fish at the moment, thank you Specialized Aquatics, angelfish. Angelfish and rainbow fish, as I mentioned earlier. Any giveaway like a nano fish tank? Not a nano fish tank, but we will do a giveaway on 𝗲𝗾𝗀𝗀𝘀, a 𝗲₂ LED light. Follow me on Instagram for that. We'll definitely be doing that very soon. I'm still planning it, and we will have many more giveaways soon in the future. Share some Japanese blogs about aquascaping. We'll try to Google translate it. Well, ADA has a bunch of blogs about it. You can go to the website. Yeah, and they're in English already, so you don't need to translate it. When is it okay to rescape? For me, I say at least a year. Have your tank set up for a year, and if you don't like it, you can rescape it. But really, anytime you feel like rescaping, you feel free to do so. What advice would you give to a beginner aquascaper? Just be patient, be very, very patient, and do things the right way from the beginning. Don't go cheap on anything. Try to put as much money in as you can, and yeah, just be patient. How expensive are ADA tools in Japan? Well, it's cheaper than any other country in the world because ADA is a Japan brand. So in Japan, it is cheaper than other countries, but it depends on the tools. There are tools as cheap from like $20 all the way to $200, so it depends on what tool you're looking at. Do you have any breeding projects you're working on? Angelfish, rainbow fish, and I'm hoping to breed some rasboras soon in the future. How do you balance between work, YouTube, and your huge fish room? I struggle with just 2 tanks. Yeah, I know it can be really hard. With a fish room, I'm just starting to learn that it's super hard to maintain all those tanks, but yeah, you just gotta find time. I'm lucky that I'm only just working part-time right now, so I've got time on doing YouTube and taking care of my fish room. How old are you? 23. To which countries have you traveled, upcoming plans, and aquarium shop tours abroad? I've traveled to many countries, not for aquarium related stuff, but for tennis related stuff, playing competitions. I used to play tennis competitively a lot, so I traveled to a lot of different countries, but for aquarium shop tours, I do hope to travel much more in the future, and I do want to tour Japan first and try to find all the nice places to do tours of. Why is your mouth always open in your YouTube thumbnails? Because that's how the YouTube life is. Would you ever keep Madagascar rainbow fish? I would, but not right now. Pokemon or Digimon? Neither. I don't follow those things. Where did you get all the money for setting up all the things you had? Well, kind of before starting all this YouTube thing in my fish room, I used to work, as I mentioned, as a tennis coach. So I did tennis coaching in Singapore, and I kind of saved up all the money I had. So yeah, from saving up money. Alright, so that was all the questions from Instagram. There were some questions from different people that were similar, so if I didn't answer yours, I apologize there. But let's move on to questions from the YouTube community post that I posted. But should we move spots? I'm not sure. Should we stay in this spot? I really like this spot underneath this tree, so yeah, we'll just probably, well, we'll stay right here. Maybe change the angle up a little bit. I'm not wearing my Crocs right now, but I promise you, Crocs are my favorite shoes. So it's kind of slanted here, and it's super windy, so I apologize if you're getting like wind sounds. Was wondering what your most favorite tank has ever been. I know you've seen a lot, so my favorite tank ever is probably Takashi Amano's tank in his house, but I've never seen it in person. I've only seen it on pictures and videos, and that's one of my favorite tanks. And then the other one's probably the tanks that he's got in his gallery. The ADA gallery, yeah, but I've actually never seen those tanks in person, so I don't know. If you're talking about a tank I've seen in person, probably the one at Sumida Aquarium. Or maybe you're asking me what my favorite tank is that I set up. Probably the one I'm doing right now for this year's IAPLC contest. That's probably my favorite. What's your favorite Japanese food? Well, I really like yakiniku and curry rice. Have you ever thought about opening your own aquascaping fish store in the future? Yeah, I have, but I don't know when that will happen. I don't know if that will happen. Maybe someday. I laid some driftwood on the frame of my tank while I was cleaning. It looks good up there. What plant could I attach? Oh, there's so many plants you could attach. Pothos, some philodendron types, monstera. There's so many plants out there. Which fish species would you like to breed the most, and what is it about this particular species that you find fascinating? Well, it's probably the Sabor resplendens Asian Raminos rasboras. I just love the colors of that fish, and it's not too common yet, so yeah, I would like to breed that. How cold does it get in the winter for you, or what is the coldest it's ever gotten with your rice fish out on your deck? The coldest it's ever gotten is in the minus, like, I don't know, at night it gets like, it can get -5. Well, 0 to -5, I think. -5 probably is the coldest that it's ever gotten. Rice fish are super hardy. Well, they live in the wild in Japan, so they've got to handle the cold weathers, and in Hokkaido, where it gets even colder, they're in the wild, so they got to tolerate the freezing winter. So how do you do with your water changes? Do you filter condition your water? Well, my water changes just come out from the tap into a filter. It's called the NA water. It has carbon and I think like a sediment filter, I'm not too sure, but it removes all the chlorines and chloramine. Do you have a hard time with the lifespan of your bettas? Well, I haven't kept bettas in a long time, so I'm not too sure, but with bettas, I know they don't live so long, maybe like 2-3 years, especially with those show quality types. Maybe maximum would be 5 years, but I'm not a betta expert, so I'm sorry about that. But I do hope to keep some bettas in some nano tanks in the future. soon in the future. Have you tried out the anoxic filtration and plenum method before? I haven't. How did you learn to aquascape like a pro? Well, I gotta say thanks mostly to Aqua Review, because I worked there for about a year and I did learn a lot about aquascaping from them. So Aqua Review, you can go check them out on Instagram. A really good aquascaping shop. Which style of aquascape, Iwagumi nature, do you prefer? Well, I really like nature style and Iwagumi. So those two that you mentioned, those two are my favorites. I'm not really a huge fan of dioramas. They are nice, they can be nice, and there are some that I really like, but I'm just not a huge fan of gluing stuff together and trying to make like a whole landscape inside a fish tank. I'd rather have it simple and natural. Do you have any plans to make an aquarium for medakas or rice fish? Not really right now, but I do hope to in the future. I do want to breed some rice fish in the future, some nice quality ones, and I might do some tanks for them. But yeah, we'll see. Do you have any tips on how to keep lily pipes straight? Mine always tend to face left, right, and sometimes they get detached from the suction. Well, make sure to have good suction cups. The ADA ones are amazing. They stick really, really well. And to keep them straight, you just gotta like adjust the hose. If the hose is like twisted in a different direction, then it really pushes the pipes like a different direction. So you gotta make sure the hose is like nice and straight. And yeah, I don't know, it's kind of weird talking about that, but why are lily pipes kept at the front of aquariums? I thought you would put them in the rear to make them blend into the background. Well, lily pipes, they're like a beautiful item made of glass. They're beautiful, so they're kind of like a showpiece. You want to showcase them in the front of the tank. If you look at the ADA gallery, all their lily pipes are at the front of their tanks. They're not hiding them in the back. You put them in the front, and it also helps with the flow, circulate around the entire tank. So yeah, I'm not too sure. There is an article about lily pipes and their placement that ADA has done, so you can go check that out. Maybe I'll put a link in the description down below for you to check out. Why don't you make a pond digging the ground for Japanese koi only in the place where you are thinking to make a greenhouse? I do want to do a koi pond that's dug in the ground, but not right now. Maybe sometime in the future. Right now, I just want to focus on other things, and it's also expensive. It's not a cheap project. Will you do a new setup for a shrimp tank? Yes, I will. I definitely will. I just can't say when. What's your favorite kind of medaka? My favorite kind of medaka rice fish is the kohaku. Basically like a koi, it's white with red. That's my favorite type of medaka. If you could travel anywhere in the world to collect fish, where would you go and what would you collect? Well, first I'd go to Peru and collect some wild angelfish. I really want to get some Peruvian angelfish. And then the second place would either be Papua New Guinea to collect rainbow fish, or to Africa, to Lake Malawi, Tanganyika, and look at the African cichlids. Which tetra are easier to take care? Well, almost all tetras. Cardinal tetras, rummy nose tetras, ember tetras, red phantom tetras. Most tetras are super easy to take care of. When are you planning to come back to Singapore? I'm not too sure yet, but I am planning to go back sometime this year. Do you ever plan to sell fish commercially, or is YouTube going to be the main source of income for me? For right now, YouTube is probably the main. For the future, I do want to kind of become like an aquascaper and scape tanks for people, and maybe do a fish store, but I'm not sure yet. How much do you spend on your fish keeping? I don't really want to talk about that because I don't know. Quite a lot. I want to know which species you want in the future. For me, it's wild-caught discus. For me, it's wild-caught Peruvian angelfish. I want to keep those Rio Nanai angelfish. The angelfish with the blue and spots, and just really beautiful, like out of this world. I love those fish. When are the cichlids coming and fish update videos? Well, fish update videos all the time. Cichlids are coming very soon. I hope you're talking about African cichlids, because I still need to get the tank, but I've already got the rocks, and I've already actually got some of the African cichlids. So alright, so the camera just stopped recording for a moment, but we're back. And we're almost done, so let's just do this a little bit more. Do you have any other pets? Not in Japan, but in Singapore, I have Brownie, and he's the best dog ever. I love him so much, I miss him so much. I haven't seen him in a few years, but I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna meet him this year. Do you have any vendor that I can reach out to buy medaka and ships out to USA? No, I've talked to all my medaka rice fish breeder friends. They don't want to ship because it's too much trouble. What is your favorite guppy strain? My favorite guppy strain is probably the koi tuxedo guppy. What's your favorite microfish species? Microfish species, probably the 𝗯𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗲𝗀𝗀, the 𝗲𝘂𝗾𝗋𝗃𝗃, and I also like the blue 𝗲𝗂𝗃𝗃, I don't know, the blue or green one. Yeah, there's so many types, I don't know. What fish are illegal in Japan? Recently, gars became illegal in Japan, so that's really sad, but yeah, I'm not sure what else. What's your favorite crypt? My favorite crypt is 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗃𝗀𝗀, or maybe some people say 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗀, but I don't know, which do you say 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗃𝗀 or 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝘀𝗀? Yeah, but 𝗲𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗀𝗃 is my favorite. How do you fight algae in your tanks? By having a balanced setup. Have you ever thought of getting chana? Yes, I have, and I do hope to soon. One of my friends in Tokyo has a fish store that has a bunch of chana, snakehead, and I've done a tour of that place, so if you're interested, you can go check that out. But I do want to keep some smaller sized snakeheads, like the rainbow snakehead. How is Uncle's durian tree? Still doing good, still in that little pot, doing great. How to set up and start a planted tank. You just watch some videos on YouTube and you go to your fish store and just start. You just gotta start somewhere. What aquarium fish are the rarest in Japan? I'm not sure. I know rainbow shiners are quite rare, but I've seen them before, so yeah. I'm not sure though. Please make a terrarium video. I'll try. How much have you made making videos? Well, I can tell you not that much, honestly. All the money that I've made from making these videos just go back into the fish room, go back into all the gear that I need to make these videos, so yeah, but the profit is quite little. How is your arowana in Singapore? I sold it quite a long time ago. When I knew that I was coming to Japan because I couldn't live in Singapore anymore, I sold it to someone and he's taking care of it. So there it is. I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A and thank you all for the questions. I hope you guys like the answers. And if I missed your questions, I really apologize. I'm so sorry. There's too many questions to answer and it would take like an hour to finish this video. I want to thank you all for your support. We hit 100K. I got the silver play button. I forgot to bring it with me today, but I'll definitely show you guys in just a moment. But as always, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys like the sakura tree. It's only here for a couple of days in the year, so yeah, the flowers only last a few days. So here it is. Take a good look at them. Take a good look at this amazing tree. This tree is just beautiful. Look, that's a chair I was sitting in just now, and this, yeah, you could have a picnic here. Really, really nice. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to hit the thumbs up if you did and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright, so here it is. I brought it out. I forgot that my address was on this, so I can't really show you guys this part, but I will open this up and show you guys the play button. So take a look at this. So first we got the letter. If you guys have watched unboxings of these play buttons, you'll know that you get a letter from the CEO of YouTube. So that is really, really cool. And we've got a letter. We've got a little card from this says that Rick has taken care of my YouTube play button. So thank you so much, Rick, and to Susan Wojcicki from YouTube. Alright, let's pull this thing out. Oh, look at the reflection, the sakura trees in the... That is so cool. So yeah, there it is, guys. The YouTube play button, 100,000 subscribers, Rio Watanabe. Thank you guys so much. This is all thanks to you, all my fans. Thank you for your support, and we'll definitely keep making videos. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time.